Kicking off this week's Ohio Farm Bureau podcast at Garrett Farms in Darke County. Paige Garrett joins me along with Cy Prettyman. He's first vice president of Ohio Farm Bureau, and Cy is taking part this year in the Dean's Charity Steer Show. We've been doing this now for 3 years with Ohio Farm Bureau and Nationwide, and Cy, really a chance to get together with our partners at Nationwide to raise money for a great cause.
For sure. It's a great cause. Ohio Farm Bureau and Nationwide have worked together for a long time, and this event's all about agriculture and community and families, and that's what the Ohio Farm Bureau and Nationwide are all about. And we're excited to be able to support the Ronald McDonald House of Central Ohio. They're doing great work down there. They've got a major expansion going on, so the funds that we can raise here will help put more families up when they need it at the Nationwide Children's Hospital.
Last year alone, we raised almost $250,000 through this Dean Steer charity show. Dean Kathy Ann Kress, of course, with Ohio State University College of Food, Agricultural, and Environmental Sciences, hosting us at the Ohio State Fair August 1st at the Voinovich Center there on the Ohio Expo Center grounds. Paige, tell us about yourself, how long you've been showing, and then introduce us to Tanner here.
I'm Paige Garrett. I'm 15 years old. I'm about to be a sophomore. I've been showing through 4-H for 7 years now. I've been, cattle for 7 years and sheep for 5 years. It's pretty much my whole lifestyle now. But this year I have a steer named Tanner. Tanner was born in April. He's just a little dude. He's pretty chill, but
he's homegrown too.
Yep,
from this farm.
Homegrown, yeah, straight from this farm. I'm even not the. Technically, I own him on papers and his mom on papers, but
we all know who really owns who in this whole situation. Being a 1,000-pound steer. And Cy, have you ever shown a steer before?
Ty, I've been engaged in the beef industry for a long time, but not in the show ring. So my experience there is pretty limited. So it's going to be a great opportunity to see what Paige and I can do out there.
Got to tell you, we've been practicing here for the last couple of minutes, and Cy is a natural when it comes to showing Tanner. Paige, you did give him some hints and some tips as you work with someone that's never shown before. What are some kind of the basics that you want them to know about to make them successful?
Most of the basics, apart from what to do, when to do it, is just to be calm. I mean, it really reflects back on what animal you're holding. If you're freaking out, then they're gonna start getting antsy because, it's time to go. But if you're calm and chill and cool and collected, they'll match exactly what you do. And one of the main things in showing is just to look like you know what you're doing. Because even if you don't know what you're doing, at least it looks like it, and it's better to fake it till you make it than just trying to go with the flow and not knowing what you're doing.
That's right.
This is Cy's first time meeting Tanner. This is the very first time they had a chance to work together, and Cy, I would say that you guys are already best buds.
We are. He seems to be a pretty calm guy, which is good for me, and I'll try to match that, and we'll see what we can get done in the show ring.
Why take part in an event like this? Why bring agriculture and family and community together and do something of this nature?
It's just really important, the work that they're doing at the Ronald McDonald House and supporting that charity. I think almost every one of us at a time may need a facility like that. Some of us have been down to Nationwide Children's and have spent some time there. We've got friends or family that we know that have probably used that facility, and it's a great facility. So we want to support it. Nationwide, Ohio Farm Bureau, and the Ohio State University College of Food, Agricultural, and Environmental Sciences all work together to promote agriculture, to promote families, and support our communities all the time.
When you have one of the best children's hospitals in the country, the need for a place to stay right next door is certainly there. And you mentioned the expansion, Cy. Over 200 rooms will be there when the expansion's all said and done, making the Central Ohio Ronald McDonald House the largest in the world. And it's all part of the help we're doing here to make that possible with the Dean's Charity Steer Show. August 1st at the Ohio State Fair, the Livestock Center, the Voinovich building there on the Ohio Expo Center grounds. We're going to have a link right here on this podcast for you to donate to Cy and Paige to help them raise money. There's a contest outside of the ring too as far as who raises the most funds for Ronald McDonald House Charities of Central Ohio. Make sure and go to that link and help us support Ohio agriculture in a big way and help support Ohio families in a big way as well. I'm Ty Higgins. Coming up after this, we'll stay with the Ohio State Fair theme and visit with Virgil Strickler, General Manager of the Ohio State Fair, after this on the Ohio Farm Bureau podcast.
Since 1919, Ohio Farm Bureau has been working for you, advocating for farm families, for Ohio agriculture, and our local communities. From the State House in Columbus, all the way to Washington, D.C., Ohio Farm Bureau is feeding your need for new ideas. As we look towards the future and the changes coming along with it, one thing will never change: our mission. Working together for Ohio farmers to advance agriculture and strengthen our communities. Learn more and become a member today at ohiofarmbureau.org.
Find out how Nationwide Agribusiness can help you grow your business. Get to know the people with the experience and knowledge to help you. Whether you are looking to protect your farm or ranch from the ground up, or need someone who understands your changing commercial ag needs. Find out how to better manage the risks of your ag business, or how quickly you can get back to business. Learn how you can protect your next with Nationwide on your side.
Welcome back to the Ohio Farm Bureau podcast. I'm Ty Higgins, getting ready for this year's Ohio State Fair, just days away. Starts on July 26th, runs through August 6th. We have Virgil Strickler with us, General Manager of the Ohio State Fair and Ohio Expo Center, Assistant General Manager Alicia Schultz. Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
You know, we've talked, Virgil, over the last 4 years, and the world has thrown some challenges at the Ohio State Fair, but we have persevered here in Columbus at the fairgrounds. Every year that goes by, things just get a little bit more back to normal, and I think this year looking pretty traditional as far as the Ohio State Fair goes.
Yes, I'd have to agree. I'm very proud of the fact that Ohio has a great agricultural base. We have a lot of families in agriculture, and our entries are showing that. We're getting great turnout. Of course, one of the major things that we've looked at and really tried to be successful at is our youth participation here and getting families to come here and see our great fair. As I've always said, you could see this fair through your children's eyes or through your grandchildren's eyes, and that makes us proud to be Ohioans, to have such a great state fair. Nationally, we're right up there at the top. We're very, very fortunate here in Ohio.
We all have stories, right? I grew up in that dairy products building with the butter cow, and I was scooping ice cream when I was a teenager, and just everybody's got their own family tradition when it comes to the Ohio State Fair. And Alicia, when you look at the Ohio Expo Center as a whole, you have shows all year long. You have car shows, you have boat and RV shows, travel shows. The FFA is here for a couple of days, but this is really an event that takes up every square foot of the Expo Center. Logistically, it's got to be quite a challenge.
Oh, you're definitely right. I mean, you know, we have more than 200 events here on a regular basis, and this year actually our facility was booked in some way, shape, or form 293 days a year. But as you know, near and dearest to our heart are the 12 days of the Ohio State Fair, plus all those pre-fair show days like we've got going on right now around us, where a lot of the animals are here. But you know, the fair, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes the hard work of staff, volunteers, so many people to put this together. And you know, and that's layers and layers and layers. And you know, as Virgil always says, our state fair is strong because of our county fairs. And you mentioned stories that people have. You know, I myself was involved in my county junior fair board and exhibited here at the state fair and in the, you know, Lausche building. And I think that there's so many youth who do that exact same thing. They get involved in the county fair, they come to the state fair. Fairs hold an important place in their heart, and you know, we're proud to be one of those fairs that holds an important place in people's hearts.
We'll talk about those youth exhibitors in just a bit. I know that is near and dear to your heart, and we have, of course, all that happening over the next couple of weeks, culminating with the Sale of Champions on the last day of the fair. But there's so much more to the Ohio State Fair for those fair goers that want to come for the food, the fun, the entertainment. What are some of the highlights of this year's fair, Alicia?
Yeah, so one thing that's absolutely new this year, and I think this will be really exciting, is that for the first time ever, Ohio Village and the Ohio History Center are open for free for fair goers any day of the Ohio State Fair. And that's going to be open from 10 to 5 each day. But, you know, fair goers who've been here in the past know that it's not necessarily always the easiest to get to. You know, it's right across the street, but there's not a direct, clear path. So we have a dedicated shuttle that will take people over from Kasich Hall. So you'll kind of do a transfer shuttle. You'll get off our regular shuttle on the grounds, and then you'll just hop over. You show them your hand stamp, and you can get in and explore the things that are there, because history is so important to Ohio, to agriculture, to fairs. And we have a great historical asset right here across the street. So that'll be fun and new this year. But entertainment is always huge for us. Of course, we have the big name concerts, but we have Ohioans and other musicians who are doing free live music shows every single day of the fair. Early in the fair, we have Xenia's own Joe Mullins and the Radio Ramblers doing 2 shows on Main Street stage. So any day of the fair, you can catch a live act. We also have Lady Houdini back. She's an escape artist, and this year sharing her stage and her space is the new Strong and Amazing show, and that aerial acrobat is actually originally from Ohio. So, you know, we're super excited because we're not just any fair. We're the Ohio State Fair, and we celebrate our great state, whether that's with food. More than 77% of our food vendors are from Ohio, or with the exhibitors from every single county, our band and choir. There's always wonderful things to do, but at our heart is the great state of Ohio.
I come to almost every country show that they have at the Ohio State Fair. I didn't know who Young Gravy was until my daughter told me that he was coming to the Ohio State Fair. She's very excited about that. So really something for everybody when it comes to bringing the family to the fair. And Virgil, I know you know this is one of the best state fairs in the country, but that really comes down to our youth and our agriculture sector, the #1 industry in the state, really supportive of the Ohio State Fair, and that relationship built between Ohio agriculture and the state fair is one of a kind.
Yes, and I think you know how important it is to have 4-H and FFA involved. They're great organizations, and they've helped us grow. They really have. An extension, OSU has just been a great partner for us to accomplish what we have when it comes to our overall youth scholarships, our youth endowments. Every year I think we just get better and better, you know, with our youth reserve program and trying to get that money out to families, because the families are the ones that really deserve to have some type of asset given back to them, and that's why we do it.
A rich history of millions of dollars being given to youth exhibitors across the state thanks to the Youth Reserve Program that is aptly named now the Virgil Strickler Youth Reserve Program. We'll talk about that in a little bit too, as he's getting ready to retire as General Manager of the Ohio State Fair. Before we talk about your future, let's talk about the future of the Ohio State Fair with both of you, because there are big plans laid out for these grounds here in Columbus. Really a different look to the Ohio State Fair in years to come.
They sure are, and I can't thank Governor DeWine enough. He's helped us, and he's helped the county fairs, and I thank the legislature for doing what they're doing. I've been blessed with great people around me to be able to do this master planning. And I'm very proud to turn this right back over to the lady that really has done a great job, and that's Alicia. She's been our head person on the master plan, working with everybody. I mean, there's a lot of people you have to get involved, and she's been able to do it. So, Alicia, you want to take some of that?
Yeah.
Explain what we're doing?
Yeah. Well, it's a really great and extensive process, you know, and it all started with a third-party group coming in and doing a master plan with a lot of market research and a lot of long-ranging vision for this facility as a whole. So we're working with a number of those partners, but we're really excited that this fall we're getting underway with phase 1 of our master plan, and so that's going to encompass a few different things. One of those, it sounds a little boring, but it's actually incredibly important, and that's underground infrastructure work, because we've been here at this property since 1886, and so underground infrastructure and new pathways through the ground will allow us greater flexibility during the non-fair season, and a placement of vendors and different things. We'll have that great fiber internet connectivity and electricity and water that's available in all the different locations that allows us to pop up a fair around you, as you see, in areas that normally would be parking lots. But some of the more exciting things are that we'll have a brand new main entry gate. So that entry gate will open for the 2025 Ohio State Fair. And then as we travel through the grounds, coming in 2026 will be 2 new buildings, as well as a new town square area that will create an open, a wonderful green space atmosphere where people can gather with amphitheaters and water features that will really complement the natural resources park area. But a couple of those buildings are buildings that I think are well known to a lot of your listeners that will be changing. One of those is the Ohio building, known during the fair as the Taste of Ohio Cafe, where Ohio's agricultural commodity groups, you know, these Ohio farmers are serving you meals. And so that building, this is your last chance to visit it during the 2023 Ohio State Fair, because in this fall it will be demolished to make way for a new Ohio Showcase building. So that Ohio Showcase building will tell Ohio's story. We're working really closely with our neighbors over at the Ohio History Connection on programming half of that building to really feature great iconic aspects of Ohio's history and tell that story, as well as have some food service and shade and seating areas where we can sell different regional Ohio foods. But the other building that's going to be demolished, again, visit it this year, is the Ag and Hort building. And so that, as you know, Ty, is where the Ohio Farm Bureau's amazing Land and Living exhibit is housed. And so that year, that will make way for a much larger, much grander, brand new Ag and Hort building that will actually combine the Taste of Ohio Cafe as well as the Land and Living experience to give you that overall farm to fork experience. And so we're absolutely thrilled because this will be a modern, state-of-the-art building, and it will really make sure that agriculture continues to be at the heart of the fair, not just over in the barns, but right by the rides, right in the midway, right in our new town square.
That's what I was going to mention to Virgil, is we talked about that relationship with Ohio agriculture. We have great buildings for beef and for poultry and for pork, and the lamb building is fantastic. They've all been updated and renovated. But that outreach to the consumer, those areas are what Alicia's talking about, that are going to get a brand new look. The flow of traffic is going to be better. The experience for the fairgoer to learn about where food comes from and learn about agriculture as a whole, going to be a fantastic experience for them.
Yeah. And I just can't thank Farm Bureau enough on what you folks have done. And I know you bring people in from all over the state to be a part of Land and Living. And we're reaching out. That's the key. Our state fair is reaching out to our urban friends and trying to get those families here so that they can understand agriculture better. And there's no better place. We market Ohio. Everything that happens in Ohio, we can market it here at our great state fair. And I'm very proud of that.
Virgil doesn't like to talk about himself, so I'll put that out there first. He and I have had many of these conversations. He likes to be behind the scenes. He knows that he makes things happen, but he does it very quietly and doesn't want a lot of the credit for what happens here at the Ohio State Fair. Given that, he deserves all the credit in the world for where this fair has gone the last 30 years, and he is going to be retiring at the end of this year. And Virgil, when you announced that, you know, a lot of people were just outpouring of appreciation for you for everything you've done. Can you talk about your past couple of decades here at the State Fair and what you think you've been able to accomplish behind the scenes and in front of the scenes in order to make this fair successful?
Well, starting, you know, as the ag director for 10 years before I got manager and have 20 years now manager. I was very fortunate to have good people around me. And I was able to talk to them and build consensus on what direction we need to be going. And the highlight, I believe, back in 1995, was that we talked about with the commissioners and tried to figure out how could we make sure that we're doing proper exhibits. And that's the way I want to put it. You know, we need to get control of that. And then after that, then get control of possibly what's causing that problem. And that we believe that it was because all the money was going to, let's say, 8 to 10 people instead of taking some of that money and spreading it out among others. And so that was my biggest accomplishment, I believe, when I did the Outstanding Market Exhibitor, and now there's an Outstanding Breed Exhibitor too. But I believe that because we took, and again, we honor every child and every family that's been in the Sale of Champions. And I know Alicia has even worked harder on that. How do we recognize those people? And you'll see new banners put up on the fairgrounds about those people, that the families and the actual exhibitor. But Ty, I mean this with everything I got. I was blessed with great employees around me and great commissioners. And we were a team always. We always were a team on what direction we wanted to go and how we wanted to get it accomplished. And what I was able to do, I believe, is build great team members, allowing them to do their jobs and making a lot of new ideas. You know, they come in and have all these new ideas, and that's great because we've got to make our fair better every year. But I've been blessed and blessed with working with all the commodities, all the Farm Bureau, especially Ohio State University, being able to work with them, and like I said earlier, FFA and 4-H, and that I think we built great partnerships over the years. That's what, and everybody took just an interest that they just wanted to get this accomplished. Look at our Skillathon educational stuff. Look at our overall Ohio, or the outstanding marketing exhibitor program. We're educating all of our youth here in Ohio, and I know we're doing a great job because there's a lot of universities coming from out of our state to grab our kids, and I'm very much against that. I want to keep our youth here in Ohio.
You notice, Alicia, how he deflected and gave it all to you guys, right? All the credit goes to his team. You've worked with him for a long time. What does he bring as the general manager of the Ohio State Fair and Ohio Expo Center that he's not telling us? What kind of leadership does he have, and has he shown you?
Yeah, so many things. You're right. Virgil likes to deflect and talk about the team, but I mean, I think that really goes to show his leadership skills right there too, is that, he talks about new ideas. Right now, we're standing in one of those new ideas, the Little Farmers exhibit that was open last year. And so Virgil very much brings people together. He creates relationships, and he allows this fair to grow and develop by letting people have ideas, by surrounding himself with people like the Ohio Farm Bureau, Ohio's agricultural commodity groups, livestock barn directors, third-party organizations, sponsors, who all come together, because without Virgil's leadership in allowing us all to rise to his level, to create this great fair, it wouldn't be the same. And we're very fortunate to have had Virgil leading us and, being so innovative. And a lot of the programs that have happened under his tenure are nationally recognized.
It's been a pleasure to work with you, Virgil. I wish you the very best in your retirement. I know you're going to be sending me all the pictures of where you're traveling to and all the fun times you're enjoying as you enjoy retirement. The Ohio State Fair coming up on July 26th, runs through August 6th, right here at the Ohio Expo Center in Columbus at the fairgrounds. Virgil Strickler, General Manager of the Ohio State Fair, Alicia Schultz, Assistant General Manager. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Here in our state, there's an energy at work, a drive to help people live healthier lives with confidence. But it can't be done alone. That's why our healthcare, business, and community leaders have joined together to help people here feel more empowered by their healthcare, leading to improved long-term health and savings. A health plan for small businesses in the agricultural industry was created by the Ohio Farm Bureau Federation. It provides members the tools, resources, and financial protection to feel confident in their healthcare decisions. By sharing responsibilities, we help build healthier employees and communities, driving down costs, connecting members digitally to Anthem's diverse network of local resources, participating in health literacy, easing administrative burdens. Joining the plan means you're part of making healthcare work better, giving people the confidence to make anything possible. To learn more about how the plan can work for your business, visit our website or call your broker or Anthem sales representative.
Welcome back to the Ohio Farm Bureau podcast. I'm Ty Higgins, giving you a preview of this year's Ohio State Fair. Starts in just a couple days on July 26th, runs through August 6th. Behind us, one of the largest exhibits of the State Fair, the Land and Living exhibit. The State Fair interns that work through Ohio Farm Bureau are going to be hosting throughout these next 12 days here on the fairgrounds. Branson Van Fleet. We also have Riley Bell and Ashley Tate joining us. Guys, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
It's good to be here.
So Branson, kind of give us an overview of what this building does and what you're trying to accomplish over the next 12 days of the State Fair.
Absolutely. So as you know, a lot of people attend the Ohio State Fair each year. And so in this building, what we try to do is we advocate for the agricultural industry. We have exhibits with our partners and sponsors that teach them about different sections of the industry and about the practices and methods that we use.
You can tell there's a lot of stuff going on around here as we prepare, not only outside here on the grounds, but also in this building. And Ashley, you're all in charge of something when it comes to what's happening in the Land and Living exhibit. What is your aspect of the building, and what are you looking to visit with fairgoers about?
Yes, so I am mainly in charge of the Community Connection Zone and the stage shows, as well as helping these two with basically whatever they need. So for the stage shows, we're really excited this year because we have a lot of fan favorites coming back, including the Columbus Zoo, Dr. Bob's Atomic Ice Cream, and sheep shearing with Roger High. And then our Community Connections section, we've actually switched up a few things if you've been here in years past. So our photo booth will be in the Community Connections section, and that's always a great way to mark a memory at the State Fair and remember the Land and Living exhibit and all that you learned.
Riley, what are you in charge of?
Yeah, so I'm in charge of the food and environment zones, and we have a lot of new stuff and then some fan favorites returning. We've got our grocery stores so people can go through, see where their food comes from. A lot of people they just think that food comes from the grocery store. We're trying to show the bigger picture behind that. And then in the environment zone, I am most excited for our water display. We'll have sort of pond set up around and just be teaching water facts, facts about fish, and things about the environment like pollinators and things like that.
Branson, what are we talking to fairgoers about?
So I'm in charge of the Animal and Technology Zone. So in the Technology Zone, a lot of familiar faces and exhibits back there. We have our Combine and Tractor Simulators with COSI. We have our High Flying Drones with Dr. Bob Thornton from Ohio State. We also have the iFarm Immersive Theater from Ohio State CFAES. And the Animal Zone, we have a lot of familiar faces as well as some new ones. We'll have the Swine Birthing Center back with the Ohio Pork Council. We'll have the Ohio Poultry Association back with their incubator, as well as a new display. And we'll have some new faces as well, like Ohio Sheep and Wool Improvement Association. So we got a lot of exciting stuff in the Animal Zone as well.
So important,
Yeah.
Riley, to talk with consumers. Only 2% or less of the population involved in agriculture in any way, shape, or form. I'm sure you get quite a few interesting questions when people come through the building.
Yeah, last year actually we had someone that didn't know that eggs came from chickens. So that is just, it shows that so many people are misinformed or just don't know. And that is sort of our big mission with this building, is to teach people where their food comes from and how the agricultural industry can benefit everyone.
Ashley, a lot of work goes into what's going on. You guys have been here for a couple of weeks already getting this building prepared.
Yes, and it's been quite the journey to get here. We started setup earlier this week on Monday, and we actually have our ambassadors in the building right now, and they have been a huge help, and we're really lucky to have such a great team to work with.
Branson, as you invite people to the state fair, what are some of the things, the highlights as far as when they walk through this building you want them to know about?
I want them to know that we are here in this building to show how great the agricultural industry serves all of us. It's the industry that feeds us, it's the industry that employs us, it's the industry that does so much for us, and we want them to all understand that. We want them to walk through this building and understand where their food comes from and a little bit more about what happens to the industry. Is not just, you know, that red barn with the plow out front of it. It's so much. It's technology, it's animals, it's the environment, and the food that you eat. It's so much more.
A lot going on right now as they get ready for the fair, but it'll be even busier here coming up on July 26th as the fair kicks off and runs through August 6th here in Columbus at the Ohio Expo Center and State Fairgrounds. Thank you guys so much for your time.
Yes,
Thank you. We appreciate it.
For the Ohio Farm Bureau, I'm Ty Higgins. We'll see you at the Ohio State Fair, and we'll see you down the road.